In the morning, you got me up, all cause you need to talk. To 4 in the evening, wanna break up, say that you've had enough. I'm tired of talking, again and again, argue about everything. You are my darling, this kiss and make up, I know you wanna touch. You call me every night, call me every day, I just wanna get you alone now. Trust me when I say, we gon' be okay, we just gotta boom, bada boom, ba. I don't wanna fight, you know that I'm right. Baby, let me talk to your body. We gon' be okay, hear me when I say.
The kosher clinician.
I succinctly apologize, guys. I apologize. Thank you, guys. I apologize. I can't believe that I was in the show for almost 10 minutes, 24 minutes. You guys couldn't even hear me. I apologize, guys, once again. I apologize. So once again, let me go back and talk about it. I'm going to talk about the euphemism behind a red heifer. The red heifer, guys, is part of what's called a perfect sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that's fit for a king. A king, in my mind, is not an average man. And a king is a euphemism. Every man is not a king. Every man is not king worthy. But in my mind, a king could be a blue-collar man, a white-collar man, or a mid-tier professional, a man that have done the work, the man that has a blueprint for what he wants for his family, what he wants for his woman. And in my mind, a red heifer is what your granddaddy got, what your grandmother got, and what men of the old got in the past. But see, you don't have women like Luke Casey anymore, guys. You don't have traditional women like the Luke Caseys of the world, a beautiful woman that was born in South America. You don't have women like the Miss Parkers, back to basics, good sisters that are trying, and women that are struggling to remold their image. You don't have women like Sweet Lulu Bing, because if many women were like women from foreign traditional countries where the women are conditioned to serve and honor their men, then men will be more open, guys, to the concept of marriage. But many men are not open to the concept of marriage because they say that in fair exchange, there is no robbery. It's robbery for a man to get caught up in these traditional marriages now in America because they don't benefit men. Now, some say, well, you need to make sure she, hold masculine frame and, hit her across the head and be mean to her. But what man that's on his purpose and his mission have time to fight and joust with a woman for power? What man have that? As I said earlier, when you guys couldn't hear me, I grew up in a very traditional family. I've been married for 26 years. It's not always been easy. My mom and dad are still married. My dad is 78. My mom is 72. They've been married for over 50 years. But that was a time when the world was different. That was a time when norms were different. That was a time where shame was here. That was a time when we held women accountable. That was a time when women respected themselves. That was a time when men were men. There was a time when men came together and they said what they meant and they meant what they said. That was a time when men say word is bond. But with so many of our men being born in single parent homes, guys, so many are being born in single parent homes. So many of our men are being born in single parent homes. So many of our men have never seen what's called true heteronormative masculinity. They don't know how to act for or ask for what they want in a relationship. So many men struggle with dealing with modern women. You know, many women, guys, come into relationships thinking that they're the prize. They think that they're better than you. So when she comes into the relationship, she's not coming into the relationship seeing herself as a commodity to help you build your kingdom or build your mission here on earth. And that's a problem, because when men are not at their best, they cannot function. That's a problem, because when men are not getting their needs met, guess what? The world can't get its needs met. When men get the women that they want, men are more better optimized. They see the world through a different lens. And see, one of the 7 steps a man must go through in order to become optimized, guys, I told you, is world travel. Men are not traveling because they don't want to deal with American women. Most men would love to find a good quality American woman. But a lot of men are saying that many don't meet their expectations, especially the higher tier men. The higher they go, the quality becomes lower. And so you got 30% of men now that are virgins. Do those men not deserve a red heifer? And once again, a red heifer is a symbolism. And, as I continue to go forward, I want to be careful how I say this, because some will take what I said and run with it. And they'll say, well, the kosher clinician said that women are heifers. I'm not saying that. I say it's a euphemism. It's a symbolism. And in that symbolism, every man, especially if he's a virgin, deserves a red heifer. 30% of men are virgins. Some of those men are virgins because they are socially awkward. We don't know why, but out of that 30%, we don't know what percent are socially awkward. Some of those men are preserving themselves for religion or faith. And some of those men are just average guys. There's nothing wrong with them, but because of carnal hypergamy, those women look past those men. Those women don't see those men as viable commodities. They see those men as less. Because, see, guys, social media have made many average women or sub-average women think they're better than you. And so as a therapist, it would be remiss of me for you not to get your needs met, but also would be very remiss of me for you guys not to get what's called the rights of self-determination. Every man, if you work hard, if you went to school, if you more or less a blue-collar worker, you're a contractor or a truck driver or a plumber, if you put in the work, you deserve to say what you want in a woman. Because listen to this. There are many women that come into relationships saying that they deserve. They come into a relationship saying, I deserve. But what makes you deserve a quality man? What makes you deserve a quality man if you got multiple kids by multiple men? What makes you deserve a quality man if you had too much fun? What makes you a quality woman if you have not seen true heteronormative masculinity, like women in South Africa, like women in Africa, like women in South America, like women in countries where the men are men? See, I'm telling you, young men, because my time on this earth is getting slimmer and slimmer. I'm going to expire at some point. But I remember the time when men were men. That's why I'm so passionate, and that's why I speak the way I speak. There are some, I'm sure they got mad and unsubscribed because, I'm taking a risk when I do this. That's why I need you guys to share this content. That's why I need you guys to donate to the channel. But I take risks because my passion supersedes my thirst for the risk. And, guys, it took me about 5 hours to get this show ready, almost 5 to 6 hours. I took copious notes. I took a lot of time trying to prepare this show for you, because I want to make sure that when I give you men good content, it's kosher. I want to make sure when I give you men content, it's fit and proper. I'm going to give you content fit for a king. But I need you guys to help me. I need you to share the content. If you have not donated, donate to the channel. Shout out to Luke Hazley and shout out to the Ingram Experience. I'm going to shout out Ingram in a minute. Shout out to those guys. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And to the people that have donated in the past, thank you guys. I understand, guys, that we're living in a recession. I understand we might be in a recession. Gas prices are high. So when you guys donate, I'm very grateful for it, and I really appreciate it. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue this discussion. I'm going to read out some of the comments real quick, but I'm going to shout out these cash outs real quick. And I apologize again, guys, for the lack of being here. No sound. Shout out to my man, AP AM, a man supporting men, guys. Thank you, brother, for that $2 super sticker. Thank you, sir. Now, Luke Casey, sweetie, you're not having issues with your mic. It was me. I apologize. Shout out to Jazzman 808. He said, no sound, brother. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that, sir. Shout out to Luke Casey once again for that $10 super sticker. Thank you, dear. She said no sound, but we got it now. I appreciate it. Shout out to the Ingram Experience. He said, no sound. Oh my God, I feel horrible. Top Gun, a man-supported men. Everybody's saying no sound. So, guys, I apologize. Everybody's saying no sound. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Parker and Elisa Del Rosario, Luke Hazley. Thank you, dear ladies. But we need traditional-minded women like the Luke Hazleys of the world, a beautiful woman from Venezuela, South America. We need beautiful sisters like, I call it my chocolate smurf, Miss Parker Back to Basics. We need good sisters like Elisa Del Rosario, while she's trying to uncover so that she can recover. Because there's a remnant of women, guys, that are trying and striving to do the right thing. That's why I say, in theory, women can be in men's spaces, in theory. But in principles, I would say that maybe they shouldn't, because some come into men's spaces to learn. But others don't come into men's spaces to learn. They come into men's spaces to more or less change the trajectory of the mission of what men are trying to talk about. So I apologize, guys. He said, free don't on mute. I'm so sorry. Oh, my God, man. I'm so sorry, guys. Shout out to England, man. He said, you are vigorous and pounding without no sound. You're right. That's a bet, right? I've been pounding without no sound. Right? Oh, my God, I apologize. I can't believe, guys, I've been talking this long without no sound. I really apologize, guys. I apologize profusely again. I apologize, guys. You guys have been awesome. But let's get this stream up, guys, to about 60 to 100 people tonight. I want this channel to grow. I want it to expand, because I believe in dropping fire for your mind. I want this channel to grow.
For your mind.
I want it to expand.
The kosher clinician.
Oh, my God, man. I feel so horrible, man. The Ingram experience is still in North Carolina victimized. So, yeah. Shout out to my Tar Heels, man. They beat UCLA last night. My alma mater, one of the best schools in the country, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. So shout out to my Heels. But once again, guys, I'm gonna get back to topic, because I don't want to veer too much off topic talking about foolishness. Thank you, guys, once again for sharing, and I apologize 1,000% for talking that long without being heard. I apologize once again. But as I said earlier, we got 30% of men that are virgins. 30% they are virgins. These men, once again, are looking for quality women themselves. These men are looking for women that can come into their life to make them happy. But what are these men getting? What are they getting in return for their sacrifice? And I want to show you guys with the evidence, because the evidence does not lie. I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to break this thing down from a comprehensive perspective. Shout out to my man, Sir Hill Speaks, as well. But we're going to break this thing down from a comprehensive perspective. And on tomorrow, guys, we're going to have a very good show with my man, Mr. Palmer. So hold tight. We're going to break this thing down. And I need at least 5 guys to share this content. When you share it, hit the 1 button. When you guys share it, hit the 1 button. But once again, guys, a red heifer is symbolic of a perfect sacrifice. It's symbolic of a perfect sacrifice. And once again, what is a man getting in modern times when many have not seen traditionalism and many have not seen traditional men? And so I'm going to open this clip up, guys. I'm going to show it to you, because this clip is dope. You guys are going to love this. Hold tight. Hold tight. You guys are going to love this clip, and we're going to break this thing down. We're going to break it down. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. All right. Let me redo some of these super chats real quick. Shout out to Luke Kaiser once again, the black veteran. Thank you, sir. And we're going to talk about, are there dangers to the red pill? Yes, there are dangers with everything. There are dangers with the red pill if you stay too long in red pill rage. Kubler-Ross talked about something called the 5 stages of grief. It's denial, it's anger, it's bargaining, it's depression, and then it's acceptance. Many of you men are in denial. And in the gospel, in the Hebrew, God said, I set before you life and I set before you death. Choose. The red pill is similar to the gospel. The gospel is one of the greatest red pill books that's ever been written, because it brings you clarity, and also it opens up your cognitions. I set before you life and death. Choose. Once you take the red pill and see the world for what it is, you will no longer be the same. The gospel also said deal with women in accord to knowledge because they're the weaker vessel. It does not mean that you hate women, but as someone said in the past, you can either love women or you can understand them, but you can't do both. So I choose to understand women, that women are human. They're not perfect. They're just human beings. But when you love a woman more than you love yourself, then you become a saboteur of your own ignorance. I'm going to say it again. When you love a woman more than you love yourself as a man, you become a saboteur of your own ignorance. I'm going to say it one more time. When you love a woman more than you love yourself as a man, you become a saboteur of your own ignorance. And you're not helping her because women look up to men. That's why women like tall men, because women respect power and they respect strength. And so men are beginning to travel abroad because they're looking for women that can help them become the better versions of themselves. But we're going to break this thing down. We're gonna break it down, guys. To share this content, let's get the stream up to 60 to 100, guys. I want as many men to hear this stream as possible tonight. Luke Casey said he's right. The laws are not made to benefit our men. You're right, dear. I appreciate it 1,000%. You're right. You're right, Luke Casey. He's right. I don't know what she's talking about. Luke Casey said that feminism controls all Western governments and influences all our court systems. Many are attorneys and judges presiding over these cases. They control the educational system too. You're 1,000% correct. It's called cultural Marxism. It's a philosophy because Luke Casey is from abroad. But it's a philosophy, guys, where men and human beings are not allowed to speak out. They are not allowed to speak out. They are not allowed to say what they believe in. And it happens many times, guys, because many men begin to suffer in silence because of that. No one should be under the tyrannical reigns of cultural Marxism where they can't say what they believe in. But now when men begin to say what they want, and when men begin to say what they desire, that it becomes a problem. And I got an issue with that because to all these men are listening, especially the younger men. I'm 50 years old. But to the younger men that in their 20s and their 30s, you have the right to self-determination. You have the right to get the best version or the best woman that you can get. But some of you have been so conditioned to settle for mediocrity, you just settle. When women come into relationships, as I said again, they say, I deserve. But they have a lot of baggage, but they're coming to the relationship. You can be a single man with no kids. You can have an average job making $45,000 to $50,000 a year, and they'll say, I deserve. They deserve you. But what is she giving you in return? Because in fair exchange, guys, there is no robbery. There's no robbery in fair exchange. The Seattle veteran said that just love to give, brother. No doubt. I appreciate it, brother. And Seattle black veteran said just love to a good brother. No doubt. Appreciate it. No doubt. Okay, you did it again. No doubt. I appreciate it, guys. We're going to get into it. Luke Casey said, we appreciate the knowledge you're sharing. No, I appreciate you, dear. I love sisters like yourself because women like you are rare and you guys, and women like you are far and few in between. But if you and I are around the same age, you remember a time, Luke Casey, when women were traditional, when women respected themselves, when women knew that in fair exchange, there was no robbery. But, you got a lot of modern women want men to jump into relationships. They want them to get caught up with this negative concept called love, without giving men anything in return. What is the man getting in return for his sacrifice in modern times? And I say nothing. I've spoken to many guys that got good women. Many of their women were virgins. They were good women. But what I'm saying is that I'm not saying you got to be a virgin per se, but in the past, that was the fair exchange. No children, virgin, wife ready, fair exchange. He paid all the bills. He put his life on the line. He took care of her. And I understand we're living in modern times, but because we're living in modern times does not mean you have to adhere to some of the dogmas of modernism. You don't have to adhere to it. You still can strive to be a good and upstanding woman. But that's what liberal indoctrination does. It indoctrinates you to think that you're better than the men that you're dealing with. But see, just like countries like Ukraine, men don't mind putting their lives on the line for the women in Ukraine because those women are under patriarchies. They're under traditionalism. But what men are saying is that, what am I getting in return? And so I did this show about the red heifer and the red pill because there's a lot of ignorance concerning the red pill. Black men didn't start the red pill. The red pill was started by white men. The red heifer, once again, was a perfect sacrifice in the Hebrew. The shofar, when you saw me starting that intro with the shofar, that shofar actually means to sound the trumpet. And there are a lot of black men that are more or less going now to Hebrew Israelites, the Hebrew religion. I'm still Judeo-Christian, but I go by the kosher clinician because if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. And in Hebrew, 7 means complete. And so my job is to get you men complete. My job is to help you men see and understand that you can get what you deserve if you're willing, guys, to put in the work. If you're willing to remodify your thought processes, if you're willing to do what's called shallow work, if you're willing to look at the dark recesses of your consciousness that you have not explored, if you're willing to do that, then you will be more or less on that road to self-elevation. But you know, Mr. Palmer said something, he's going to be on my show tomorrow. He said, you got to change the law of your mind. And it's true. So many of you young men have been conditioned to see yourselves as less. So many of you young men have more or less been conditioned to think you can't get nothing outside of the confines of America. And once again, if you can't find your wife here in America, you need to travel abroad. I'm not against men more or less trying to find their wives here, but to the men that work hard, the men that are blue collar, that make good money, because shout out to the blue collar brothers. Blue collar men are the ones that help this world go round. But then there are professional men. They were raised in traditional families and they want a traditional woman. And so it does not benefit you to deal with most modern Western women. I'm not saying all Western modern women are bad. There are some modern women that are, decent, but they're not traditional. And many of them don't want to be traditional. So I'm going to show you guys a clip and we're going to break it down. We're going to break this clip down, guys. Hold tight if I can find it. We're going to break this clip down. Because, it's time for men to be elevated. It's time for men to more or less begin to live their lives on their own terms. It's time for men to live their lives free of shame, guilt, and also free of ridicule. And there are many guys that will shame you for having standards. So, hold tight.
To their body, they're not.
So we're going to play a clip.
Women.
We're going to play a clip, guys. And I want you guys to look at this clip. I want you guys to look at what these modern women are saying, because they're not red heifers. They are not red heifers. They are not without spot or blemish. They don't come into the relationship willing to serve you. They think that they are better than you. And you guys don't believe it, but I'm going to shame the devil in a few minutes. But I want you guys to look at this clip. And once again, thank you guys for all you've done. I love you guys. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, But we're going to play this clip and we're going to break it up a little bit. Hold tight.
Or in tune to their body. They're not in tune with running a household. They're in tune to social media. They're not.
Listen to what she just said. They're not in tune to running a household. They're not in tune to social media. So basically, you got a bunch of modern women. Men have been ran through. Been with a lot of men. So because you've had so many men, she really can't come into the relationship willing to serve you because her mind is off center. Her mind is off key. And folks get mad at me when I talk about that. But once again, guys, in fair exchange, there is no robbery. Because what men got in the past was this: wife ready, virgin, no kids. What the woman got, fair exchange, masculine man, a husband, a priest, and a man that was willing to provide and protect his woman at all costs. That was the fair exchange. Some say that, well, men do it. You can't compare what men do to women because we're different. I'm not saying it's morally right that men or women do it. Morally, no one should be doing it. But I'm a male rights advocate because I believe when you protect the men, then the men going to turn around and protect their women. Men are at their best when they can have their egos protected. But many men don't have their egos protected because they don't know what their worth is. My man D said that all feminist and misandrous countries will self-destruct in time. All it takes is time. Feminism, misandry cannot be reversed. I agree with you 1,000,000%, brother. You're 1,000% correct, D. Shout out to you, brother. Haven't seen you in a while, but shout out to you. All right, hold tight.
Not in tune with the needs of their significant other or their kids. That, I'm just going to be honest. Women really is like, fuck men. It's all about me.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys just hear that? She said, F men, it's all about me. And listen, some of these women, guys, when they get into these relationships, they're not really trying to change. They're not changing. They're just more or less evolving. They're just masking who they really are. They just want to put that ring on their finger. There are many men that are married, guys, that are in sexless marriages. They don't even get sex with their wives. They pay the bills. They work hard. but they might get sex 6 times a year. What kind of relationship is that when you're expected to be traditional and she's still modern? She gave Raekwon the Man her body for free. They didn't have to ask for anything. Raekwon the Man got her body for free. But when you come into the relationship, you got a bojangle and tap dance. Oh, baby, can I have some? You got a bojangle and tap dance. But in countries like where Luke Casey is from, where countries like Sweet Lulu Bean is from, the women understand what their role is. And the men understand their roles. I'm not saying the South African women are perfect. I'm not saying the South American women are perfect. But the odds of finding a traditional woman is better in South America and in some countries in Africa than it is here in America. And I solicit to you, young men, and also to the middle-aged men, you should get women that are willing to more or less fit your needs as a man. You should get women that are willing to fit your program. When I was in Brazil, I saw my man El Guapo, shout out to him. And when I was doing some anthropological work, the women in those countries are just different. They're more traditional. They come into the relationship willing to serve. They don't see themselves as the prize. They know that in order to get a man, they got to serve that man. Because see, in those countries, there's no such thing as radical feminism because it doesn't work. In those countries, they need their men. They don't just want their men. They need their men. But see, many of our women in modern times just think that they're supposed to come to the relationship and they see themselves as the prize. And they're not the prize. Because you got the greatest risk to lose. A man that's well able, in good shape, and works hard, you can get any woman you want. Even older men at 50, if I was a single man, I can get a woman that was 30 or 35. At 6'6", 6'5", highly educated, I think I'm a decent looking man, need to drop some weight, but I can get a younger woman, a younger, prettier woman. And that's why I keep telling you, men, you are the prize catcher. You determine if she's wife ready. That's how it was in the past. And that's why men got to get back to demanding more because men come into the relationship thinking that they're better. Keep listening, guys.
And I don't know if it comes from the fucked up experience that they've had or...
We're enough. It's enough.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, wait. Let me just... wait. Okay. Wait, can I just finish one more thing? Okay. And one more thing about that. Why then, if that's true, why do we have the expression, where have all the good men gone, but nobody's asking, where have all the good women gone?
Oh, they do.
We're privileged.
From where I'm from,
we're the fucking prize. And if women don't know that.
You guys hear that delusion? That's why when they come into the relationship, they don't have a heart of a servant. That's why we have these shows. Because, see, the red pill is not about the hatred of men, but the red pill also talks about understanding simps. Weak men that see themselves as less than. Weak men that tolerate loudmouth women like this. Weak men that don't have standards, weak men that settle for mediocrity. They don't hold these women accountable. They tolerate women like this. But see, guys, once you get an infusion of true femininity, you would never be the same again. Once you get under the umbrella of a true feminine woman, you would never look back to this wasteland called America again. Once you get a woman that's feminine and kind and knows how to speak life into you as a man, you would never be the same again. Once you hear her soft voice and once you feel her soft hands caress your chest and caress your head, you would never be the same again. You'll never be the same again. And part of male empowerment is for men to get the best women and get the best bang for their buck. That's what male empowerment is, getting the best bang for your buck. And a lot of you men are not getting the best bang for your buck because you have been shamed, guys. You have been shamed to settle for mediocrity here in America. You've been shamed. You got some of the women in your family say, well, no, you better not date that woman because they don't want you to be happy. The only thing they care about is their own selfish needs because women love opportunistically. Men, we tend to love based on pragmatism. Women are insular. And it takes a very religious and a very spiritual woman to more or less corral her carnal nature. That's why I said before, guys, in the past, carnal hypergamy, kosher hypergamy. Kosher hypergamy is fit and proper. It's fair exchange, therefore it's no robbery. Carnal hypergamy is very exploitative. It seeks to use that man for what is beneficial for her. I want you men to start looking in the mirror and doing some mirror therapy and say, am I not a man? I want you men to start loving yourself, to start demanding more in these damn relationships. Don't let her shame you into being, mediocre. Come into the relationship and start demanding, and you ask her questions. Are you ready to meet these expectations? And I'm going to tell you something else too, guys. You should also tell the women that want to be in your life, if you're not willing to march, if you're not willing to go on Capitol Hill and change the laws that impact the men, then you're not willing or worthy to be my wife. Because the gospel says if she suffer with me, if you suffer with me, then you'll reign with me. And she's not willing to suffer with you and partake in the fellowship of your suffering as a man here in America, she's not worthy to be your wife. She ain't worthy to be your wife if she's not willing to march with you to get these laws changed. And so, because see, when I've seen men in practice contemplate deleting themselves, I've seen men deal with anxiety and depression. But you got folks that get mad because the only thing they want to do is get married. And I'm not against marriage. I'm not against marriage at all. I think marriage is beautiful if you get the right woman. If you get a woman that's willing to meet your mission. But every woman does not deserve the ring. Every woman does not deserve the ring. Every woman does not deserve the title of marriage. Every woman does not deserve the title of Mrs. Because you got women that come into marriages, guys, and they won't even take your last name. And some of you guys are so goofy and so, your self-esteem is so broken. Y'all just, she won't take my last name, so I understand. If she's not willing to take your last name, she's not willing or worthy to be your wife. And I stand on that. Keep listening.
We're the prize. Fuck a nigga, we're the prize.
You guys heard that. You guys heard this toxic woman. She said F a N word. She said, we are the prize. She said F the N word, guys. We are the prize. So once again, I sit before you life and I sit before you death. Choose. Once you take the red pill, you'll never be the same again. Once you take it, you see the world for what it is. Red pill, guys, just basically means to see the world for what it is. It's like more or less looking within a veil. It helps you see the world for what it is. But some think the red pill means, he hate women. No, it doesn't mean you hate women. Are there some men in red pill spaces that got a great disdain for women because they're going to do red pill rage? Yes. But that's not all men in red pill spaces. Some men that are red pill that see women and female nature for what it is. They're not mad. They're not bothered. They just see it for what it is. Many OGs understand female nature. Many OGs were red pill before the concept of red pill came out. Many pimps were red pill before the concept of red pill come out because red pill men understand female nature and female psychology because it's very predictable. It's predictable. Women are not very hard. They're very predictable once you understand how women operate. Are women different based on the surface level? Yes, they're different on the surface level. But at their core, they're basically all the same. And once you understand female psychology, you become optimized. You become closer in your cycle of male optimization. I'm going to read through some of these comments, guys, and thank you, guys. I love you guys. Lavelle Robinson said that, yes, proof is black men need therapy, right? And that's why you guys need to see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com to get a non-diagnostic clinical consultation. As I told you guys before in the past, these shows are very mentally draining and they're very taxing and they're very time consuming. These shows are very time consuming. And when you guys share this content, it helps the channel grow. When I do shows like this, some folks don't like for me to do it because I'm beginning to awaken you as men. I lose subscribers when I do shows like this, and it's okay, But when you guys share the content, you help the channel grow. Because, see, we can talk about goofy stuff, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against talking about salacious stuff. I do it sometimes. It helps the algorithm. But, we need to start more or less elevating ourselves above goofy stuff because goofy stuff might be good for temporary, but it's not good for the long term. And as people, we got to stop and get out of that entertainment mindset. As a licensed therapist that went to one of the best schools in the country, this channel should have been at 10,000 a long time ago. And white spaces, they value mental health. They value therapy. We don't value mental health and therapy because we say that's white folks stuff, but no, it's not. Therapy is very powerful if you apply it correctly. Most of the research that's done in clinical therapy is what's called research-based or it's empirical, meaning it's been more or less put through research efficacy to determine if it's beneficial long-term. CBT, narrative therapy, talk therapy, solution-focused therapy, logo therapy. Those are some of the therapeutic techniques that are used. And they have more or less been research-based. UNC Chapel Hill is a Research One institution. We do what's called research and sound research. So it's very valid. But see, some of you guys for so long have what's called a syntonic ego. You think that you're supposed to settle for less. You think that you're supposed to settle for mediocrity. You don't think you deserve to have a good woman. You think you got to deal with women like this woman that said that she's the prize, but she haven't done a damn thing to deserve your ring. She haven't done nothing. See, your grandmother and your great-great-grandmother knew that cooking a man a pie and being virtuous was not shameful. They knew that was important in order to get a good man. My grandmama was like that. My grandmother came into the table as a virtuous woman. She was fit and proper. She was kosher. My grandmother was a virgin. And my grandmother also was wife ready. She knew what it took to raise 6 children, 7 kids. My mom was a virgin too. That was just the norm. But some of you guys are giving women rings that don't even deserve the title of that. Shout out to my man, Anton Daniels. I think Anton Daniels got him a very chaste woman, a beautiful woman at that. Shout out to him. But see, when you get women that are chaste or haven't had a lot of fun, not saying you got to be perfect, they're more willing to come into the marriage, willing to serve you as a man. But when you got women that have been more or less indoctrinated by liberal dogmas and liberal thoughts, then they're not willing to serve you because they come in, guys, based on a construct called egalitarian relationships. They see you and her as equal. So therefore, she want to share the power. She don't come into the relationship looking up to you for you to be the leader in the relationship, not saying that your woman can't assist you in making decisions. I'm not saying that because your woman can assist you. If she's better with certain things, give it to her and let her do it. That doesn't take away anything from you as a man. But at the end of the day, you are the decision maker in that relationship. And she defer everything to you. Doesn't mean she don't have a voice. Doesn't mean she doesn't assist you. But she is your partner, meaning not partner in the egalitarian sense, but she comes to the relationship willing to help you guys become the better versions of yourself. Gregory Scotland said that you are on target about being cautious with certain women coming to this space. You will notice on some panels how the women can be quite disruptive. Yes, sir, they can be, brother. Yes, sir. My man D said that feminism, Miss Andrew, is the way in this country. Yes. Love does not actually exist. Right? Well, love is very nebulous. It's fleeting. There's a type of love. There's eros love. There's agape love. There's phileo love. There's storge love. But love, as it relates to the nebulous concept, is very fleeting, and it does not benefit men. Sean Whitehorn said, why is it that many women want the ring and no marriage? Right. And many women in marriage don't want to have to contribute financially and so forth. However, with marriage, with the marriage ends, they want the support. Right. They come in, Sean Whitehorn, saying that, men should pay all the bills, but when the marriage ends, they won't have. Make it make sense. And like I told you, women do not love through pragmatism, or they do not love through logic. Women tend to love opportunistically. They do it based on opportunity. They love based on opportunity. And that's why, guys, I told you, you must fortify your inner sanctum as a man. If you believe in the tenets of theology, it's Yahweh first. Then it's your purpose as a man. And then she comes third. Because see, when your ego is protected, when she decides to leave you, and she will leave you because 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women, then your inner sanctum, guys, is intact. You're not walking around holding your head down, sad and depressed and miserable and hurt when she decides to leave you. You won't be hurt when you realize that, she was still texting her ex, or she was having sex with Raekwon the Man. You won't be hurt. You just see it for what it is. Like Mr. Palmer said, the truth is what it is. You won't be hurt by her doing that because you see it, guys, for what it is. And see, it's not a lot of black male therapists in general, but it's not a lot of black masculine therapists. That's why I tell you guys to relish what I do. As I said earlier, I put a lot of time and energy in these shows. It's very time consuming, sometimes up to 6 hours getting these shows ready, editing it and doing all the work. But I do it, guys, because I want to see you guys win. And you help me win by supporting the show, supporting the streams, and supporting the content. So once again, guys, thank you for everything. I really appreciate it. Let me read out some of these things. Hold tight. Shout out to JJ Diesel. He said, I have my passport. And I got some more stuff for you guys too. Shout out to my man, Awesome Dre. Shout out to him. Shout out to Maurice Speaks. Shout out to my man, Big Smooth. Shout out, brother. JJ Diesel said that a wise woman builds her house. Yes, sir. But a foolish woman tears it down by her own efforts. Yes, sir. And that's most modern women. A wise woman, guys, builds her house. Women in South Africa, women in South America, and women abroad are more traditional. They're more feminine, and they've been socialized better than Western women. Western women is not black or white. It's just women, Western women in general. This is not a black woman issue. This is a Western woman issue. So when I have these conversations, these shows, we're not talking about black women per se. We're talking about women in the West. Women in the West think that they're better than their men. Women in the West don't know what it's like to be a wife. Women in the West don't come into relationship willing to serve their men. Women in the West think that they are better than you men. But I want you guys to go back down memory lane, because you got to ask yourself the question, who are the architects that built the skyscrapers? Who are the civil engineers that laid out the blueprint to the land that we have? Who are the men that built the houses that she lived in? Who are the ones that built the cars and built the infrastructures for the internet? Men built this. Men are builders by nature, and women help men become the better versions of themselves. That's why the gospel says she's bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. She was made to serve you. She was made to help you meet your vision in earth. But she's not willing, guys, to help you meet your vision in earth. Eventually get rid of her, because she doesn't add any value to your life. Shout out to my man, Richie Mack. Richie Mack got a very beautiful young woman. He called her Noodles. And Richie Mack was talking about Noodles a couple of days ago. She's very feminine. But see, American men don't get feminine women like Noodles. And once again, if American men could find traditional feminine women in America, they will want to marry traditional feminine women in America. But it's hard to find, guys. And so some guys will say, oh, you can't get them because you're lame and you don't have no game. Ain't got nothing to do with no damn lame or game. I've traveled abroad, and average men abroad get average women, but average women abroad are actually very attractive. Our average women abroad could be a strong 8 or 9, a 7 or 9 in America. But you got women that are average in America that are 5s in other countries, and they still think they're better than a man that's a 5. And fair exchange, guys, once again, there is no robbery. My man Awesome Dre said, yes, sir. Been out of the loop for a minute, but back on the hunt, no doubt. Shout out to my man Awesome Dre. He said, I love when he said Raekwon the Man. Right. Yeah. Raekwon the Man. Raekwon the Man got it for free. They had to do a damn day, but this received it. Only thing Raekwon the Man had to do was just tap on the window. He got it for free, But she wants you to pay the full price and still don't want to serve you as a man. And that's a problem. Right. Raekwon the Man, you're right. Hold tight, guys. Let me read this super sticker out by my man 19. Shout out to my man Martin 35. Thank you, sir, for that $20 cash app super sticker. Thank you, sir. And that's a deal. I appreciate it, brother.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal,
I appreciate it, guys. And I got something else I
right?
want to show you guys. Hold tight. I got something else I want to show you guys. And we're going to chop up some comprehensive game. Hold tight. Trying to find this link that I had with my homie, my brother, my young lion, my man, Sir Hell Speaks. We had a good collaboration recently, and he's a good brother. He's another good brother, got an awesome wife. And so if most men had wives like what this brother got, then hell, we'll be willing to get married. But, I don't advocate for men to get married in modern times unless she's a woman to meet all of his expectations as a man or come close to it. And I'll say to the men, you got to make sure that you are worthy of a woman of such quality as well. You got to make sure you're on your A game. You got to make sure that you're available or able to lead as a man. Because I believe in fair exchange. But I'm going to show you guys a clip that I did with my man, Sir Hill. And Sir Hill, shout out to that brother. Much love and blessings to him. And hold tight, guys. Hold tight. Let me find this link. And I'm going to show you guys something as we chop up some comprehensive game. Hold tight. Let me show you guys something because I want to make sure you guys get the best. I love you guys. And I want you guys to get the best because you guys strive to take care of me. Let's get this stream up, guys, to 100 tonight. Please share this content as we're talking. Share this content with at least 5 people. Once you get it up to 5, guys, let me know. I want to get this stream up to 100. I want to liberate as many young men as possible. Make this show worth my time by donating, guys. Donating, but also sharing the content. And to the people that have donated, once again, I love you guys and I really appreciate it. So let's continue to chop up some comprehensive game. Let's listen.
Speaks.
How can men gain their footing in the ever-shifting environment of cultural expectations? Fantastic question.
Well, it depends on what he means by cultural expectation, but I would say to focus on yourself, to fortify your standards as a man, fortify your inner sanctum as a man. Begin to get with people that are going to respect your program as a man. Don't concern yourself about the trends of what some call, it's called the zeitgeist. The zeitgeist is the spirit of the age. The spirit of this age will confuse you, brother, if you allow it to happen. So first you have to set standards. You have to set standards. And those standards must be based on values. The gospel say, write the vision, make it plain. But if you can't make it plain, Sir Hale, if you don't have value. So you got to value something. So therefore, because I value this, these are my boundaries. And because I have my boundaries, therefore, regardless of what the world say, it's not going to impact me. But see, human beings by nature, Sir Hale, are social creatures. And even people that have very strong boundaries many times, Sir Hale, they can know internally that it's wrong. But then they have 7 people telling them that they are wrong, and they try to shame them into compliance. Many times people will comply just for the sake of going along to get along. But what it does, it causes them to be conflicted because they know in their heart that it's wrong. So I would say fortify your standards as a man. Get with like-minded men and women that think just like you, and stand strong in your convictions, like the gospel say. And once again, guys, you need to be around men that think just like you. Being red pill, once again, is not about hating women. It's about seeing men and women and seeing the world for what it is. It's important to be red pill because red pill led to movements like MGTOW. It led to SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Men. It led to introspective black men of reform. Also, being red pill led to the manosphere, something that was infiltrated and something that became, sadly for some, about money, subscribers, and popularity. And so the red pill just means to see things for what it is. It's just a philosophy. And we're going to talk about how the red pill can be dangerous, once again, if you don't know how to balance it accordingly. But many tend to associate the red pill as something bad or negative. And it's not bad. It's very essential because the red pill helps defeat something called denial, which is a thinking error. Keep listening. After having done everything to stand, you stand. But that comes with community and being around a group of men that think just like you and are not willing to relinquish their power when it comes down to foolishness.
Fantastic. Listen, guys, if you're just tuning in, hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribed, guys, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're waiting for. This is the kind of stuff we do over here. Sometimes when men hear being masculine, you think about that toxic masculinity. How do we fix that?
Well, once again, you fix it by being around men that think just like you and realizing that the definition that many call toxic is really just heteronormative masculinity. Now, can masculinity be toxic? I would say yes, just like femininity can be toxic. But you get around people that think like you, iron sharpens iron, Sir Hill. You get around those people that believe what you believe in, and you begin to galvanize one another to becoming better men. But the problem is, so many of our men have been conditioned to be simps. They don't know any better. They drag their knuckles in relationships. They believe in happy wife, happy life. They don't stand for nothing. Their wives tell them what to do. And, they just go along. Yes, ma'am. But I can't do that. I'll die before I do that. It's not in my nature to do that, man. And, right. And I'm a very masculine man. So, am I very fair? Yes. Am I very loving? Yes. Will I give my life for the woman that I love? No doubt. But it's going to come with the price. It comes with standards. And what I've learned, Sir Hale, human beings by nature like the path of least resistance. But when something is too easy, people don't. And that's what you guys continue to do. You give your power away. You give your power away because you have never seen true masculinity. As a licensed therapist, I had a conversation with a young woman yesterday, and she was shocked when she saw me. She was like, "Wow, I didn't know you were I didn't know that you were a black male therapist that happened to be 6'5" or 6'6", depending on the day." But, we are so devoid of true masculinity that when women see true masculinity, they don't know what to do with it. They actually think it's bad because they've never seen true masculine men. In other countries, guys, when you're masculine, the women actually respond to it. They respect it. Women in foreign countries respond to masculine men because it's the norm. When men are masculine and allowed to be masculine and not more or less confined to the tenets of culture Marxism, they become better versions of themselves. But when a man is constrained due to cultural Marxism, his development becomes arrested. He can't be at his best as a man. He can't be at his pure self. And he suffers in silence because He's like a lion locked up in a cage. He can't say what he want to say because he's shamed into silence. And I believe in free speech. Every man and woman should have free speech. They should have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But many men are not getting there. As I said earlier, many are the byproducts of sexless relationships. But they are still expected to be traditional. Die, provide, and protect. How does that benefit a man? And when a man is in a relationship like that, he's actually slowly dying himself. Keep listening. Don't respect it. Well, I'm seeing what most modern men, sir, here, they give their power away. That's when men begin to travel. Other men realize and say that they love American men because, one, they're kind, but they're too easy. Because men of other cultures don't tolerate what American men tolerate. American men have been emasculated mentally and physically in many ways. And they can't live out the dictates of manhood. So I would say, once again, get with men that think like you, fortify your inner sanctum as a man, and continue to grow and mature and knowing what you should get in a relationship, but also in life.
This is really good. So you said a lot of men are emasculated, and that ties into this thing of confidence, where I think that a lot of guys who are operating in life lack confidence. I'm talking about beyond how much money they have, beyond what they look like, in internal confidence that no matter where they go, they carry that with them. So how do you speak to men about that, about developing confidence and sustaining that over their life?
Say the question one more time. Just sweat. I'm sweating. Say it one more time, sir. I apologize.
No, good. They just don't have it. This is particularly speaking to the part about emasculation, where we don't have that confidence in relationships, in business, in life. How do men who lack confidence develop it, and how do men who have it sustain it?
How I'm upping my lawn game this year. I've been trying to care for my lawn myself, but it's difficult to figure out exactly.
Well, listen, once again, you got to first identify the problem. You got to realize that you have a problem. You got to remove the denial. Denial is an ego defense mechanism. So you have to eradicate the denial that you're in. And once you eradicate the denial that you're in, you got to take proactive measures to change the negative outcomes that you're dealing with. But once again, it all comes from the galvanization of other men being with other men. Once again, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety, Sir Hill. So when men get together and galvanize one another, when other men hold each other, I'm going to ask you guys a question, you brothers a question. How many times have you had other masculine men to speak life into you? How many of you young men have been raised in families where you've never seen true masculinity? How many of you young men have had men take you under their wings to teach you about the rights of masculinity? Because, we talk about solutions, but those solutions are not amenable to masculinity. There are some men in these spaces, guys, that, they don't really seek to empower the brotherhood. Many seek to more or less pander to women. Many seek to assuage women, and many seek to subvert true masculinity because some of those men, guys, have the spirit of a hyena. That's right. They got the spirit of a hyena. Because they're blue pill in nature. They don't understand female nature. They think by deferring their power, it makes a woman respect them. But women don't respect cream puffs. Women don't respect men that bow down to them. Women respect masculinity. They might not like what you're saying, but on the backside, they really do respect you for being honest and genuine. And that's why I say when women come into men's spaces, we have to be very careful and make sure those women actually have a heart for the brotherhood, because some come in as chameleons, like Luke Casely say. Many don't care about male rights. They only want what's best for them, because sadly, guys, and I need you guys to tell me what you think, are most Western women woman first, or are they family and man first? I want you guys to hit a one. Hit a one if you think most women in the West are woman first. Hit two if you think they are family first and man first. I would say that they are woman first. And sadly, a lot of our women are woman first. They don't think what's best for for you. They think about their own selfish needs first. And that does not benefit you as a man. It doesn't benefit you as a man. Hold tight. They're accountable. When men try to hold on to a vestige of masculinity, then that's when the movement starts. I tell men all the time they have more power than they realize, because men are the prize catchers. They determine the women that they marry. You know, if she's a quality woman, then most men have the power to marry that woman. But, you know, women years ago were wife ready and wife worthy. They were ready to get on ship and get on board and work together to build a legacy. But to the men that don't have confidence, once again, like I said, they gotta identify the problem, and they gotta realize by positive socialization, Sir Hill, that they have a lot more intrinsic worth than they realize. And once they realize their intrinsic worth as a man, then they will begin to uncover so they can recover. They'll go through a process. But just like those women, guys, a couple of minutes ago, they have the spirit of the hyena. They don't want you to know what your worth is. They come in very entitled. They come in with what's called narcissistic traits. They think that they are better than you. You heard that woman say it, that's loud with the snuffleupagus eyelashes. She said that she's the prize. But if you took that same woman to a country like Venezuela, she would be a 1 or 2. She would be invisible. If you took that same woman to South Africa, she would be invisible. If you took that same woman to some countries in Africa, if you took her to Sao Paulo, Brazil, or in other parts of the world, she would be damn invisible. She would be invisible. And she will either get in line or be left behind. But see, folks get mad at me, guys, because I seek to empower you. I'm not like some of these simps, you know, that more or less try to subvert masculinity, that pander to women and try to make like my message is the issue. My message is not the issue, because my message is a universal message. When men stand firm in their masculinity as men, the women are going to either respond or they're going to damn get left behind. And I'm going to tell you guys something that I've seen in these spaces as well. The true women that are genuine and real, guess what? They stick around. But the chameleons that are fake, they'll pop in, they'll pop out. And when you start preaching messages they don't like, their asses disappear. True to form, just like the gospel. They disappear when they hear the truth because they were never genuine in the first place. A true woman that's genuine can take discipline. She can take ownership. She can be self-introspective. That's what women do, or ladies do. But some of these women are not ladies. You know, they're they are, how can I say, they're females, but they're not women. Because a true woman can be introspective. A true woman do not get in her feelings when she don't hear something she don't like. A true woman is disciplined not to become a slave to her emotions. That's what true women do. That's what women do. But when they come into men's spaces expecting you to compromise the message, they want you to, water down the message to make them feel good. Well, this isn't about no damn feel good. This is about male empowerment. This is about men getting the best outcomes that they want, because men have to take the greatest risk. Women years ago, 60 to 100 years ago, knew what it was like to get a quality man. They knew what they had to give in order to get a quality man. Modern women just think just because they show up and they have a vagina that they're supposed to get a good man. It doesn't work that way. And I'm going to train you brothers to start loving yourselves. I'm going to tell you men to start more or less remodifying your thought processes so you can get the woman that you deserve, because you put in work, especially if you're hardworking, blue collar or white collar. You went to college for 6 years or 4 years or whatever. You put in the time and the work. You deserve a good quality woman. And if she's not damn it willing to meet your expectations, then you continue to focus on yourself, love yourself, and get you a passport until you find the woman that you want. Because men need to do what's best for them. People always say, we need to come up with a solution with them, and these are good solutions. These are solutions about male empowerment. It's about men looking within themselves. Because see, they don't want solutions, guys, that's based on you getting what's best for you. They want solutions that's based on assuaging their selfish nature. That's what kind of solutions they want. And these goofy simps, they pander to them. True masculine men are toxic. They hate women. No, we don't hate women, because any woman that's on my team, she's going to be well taken care of. She's going to be given the world long as she follow my program. She follow my program, she'll get well taken care of. She'll get loved good. I give her the world. But if her mouth gets slick, she can get this work too. And so that's what men got to do. Men got to start being damn men again. And we got to start calling out these simps. These are unconscious simps. These hyena simps that damn go around dragging their knuckles and try to damn shame masculine men, because they don't even know they're simps, some of them. They walk around trying to cause chaos. They're agents of chaos because they support movements that are not conducive to the black man, the black family, or the black community. De-evolution. You can evolve into being a simp, but you can de-evolve into becoming a man. So it's positive socialization to overcome that negative socialization that many times came from single-parent homes, many times, being in communities where they didn't see masculinity, and going from there.
This is fantastic.
4 in the morning, you got me up all cause you need to talk. To 4 in the evening, wanna break up, say that you've had enough. I'm tired of talking.